realized that the idea of antagonizing the young people or their neighbors is not the best way to go about it. A few of them are now realizing it. I'm very sure that with time, a lot of them will realize. Some part of the Deghele declaration, like the ones that talks about resource management, it's okay to us. We're in solidarity with them in that respect. I just hope that this their land grabbing attitude, they will do away with it. And the funny thing is that the Shekris are not known to be farmers. It is farmers that goes after land desperately. They're not farmers, so I don't know why they are so desperate to take possession of all the lands that belong to the young people. It's very funny.
But this particular place, they say that you are tenants, not landlords.
We are the landlords. You can, like I said earlier, the founding, if you go to the founding history of the Shekri people, at the time they came to where they are resident on, they were only men that came. The first woman that they got married was a young woman. So what that means is that they are our children. So a child cannot say his parents are his traditional tenants. It's not possible. So even by their founding history. And yesterday, when my very good friend was here, he talked about Donuma, one of their heroes. Chief Donuma in 1923 wrote a letter to the Ogbejon people that the land that they are living belonged to the John people, that he came from an ethnic group called Jekri in the Escravos River. Jekri was the former name of the Shekri. The Shekri people were known as Jekri people. It was only recently that they are being called a Shekri. What that simply tells you is that even the ethnic nationality called a Shekri is a very recent ethnic nationality. They are not of ancient origin. They came from Benin just very few years ago when our people are already settled. And that's the reason why if you leave the Warri township to Baramatu, from Warri to Baramatu are all the young communities on contiguous basis. They are geographically contiguous from one young community to the other. It is only at the Escravos bar that you have a few Shekri people, because at the time they came, we already settled. So they are our tenants and not the other way around.
But so what stage is either the name of the taking off of the university now?
In all honesty, the acting president, Yemi Osibanjo, made a promise when he visited Baramatu that the university will take off in this academic section, and I'm aware that there have been a lot of interface between the university management and the federal government on the takeoff of the university, and we are optimistic that that will happen. But those people that came here yesterday are some of those people that are working with forces within the system to ensure that the university do not send this light of a baby. We are optimistic that the acting president will fulfill his promise, because on our part as a people, we have displayed utmost good faith by working around the clock to ensure that we stabilize the Niger Delta region, to ensure that there is peace in the region. If there is peace in the region now, oil is flowing. So government have no reason whatsoever to not to fulfill their own part of the promise.
So what's the thinking now? I mean, the National Assembly, because yes. I know that they also look.
The Senate has passed the bill into law. It is for the House of Reps to concur, and that will be all. But we have said it times without number that the federal government do not need that bill for the university to take off. There are several universities in Nigeria without an enabling law. So it's not a basis for the university not to take off. Everything for that university to take off are already on ground. The temporary facility at Kuche has fantastic structures everywhere. It's just for federal government to say, admit students, employ lecturers and other support staff for the university to take off. Everything is very short. Our people are now feeling that they are a university community. The feeling of being a university community is already in Ekuche. If you go to the place, the people are now carrying themselves as such.
They're feeling the government presence.
Exactly, the presence of a university in their community. And that has been our argument, that look, this university will revolutionize this area. You cannot fight militancy with gun. You fight militancy with job. You fight militancy with education. And that's the reason why our struggle for this Maritime University is very strange. All over the world, what we are used to is that the government will take schools or development to communities, and not for the communities to be desperately fighting for a university. So the struggle for this Maritime University is unprecedented anywhere in the world. And it also shows that the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is insensitive to the feelings of the people of the Niger Delta region. One
thing I took away from the guest we had from the Shekiri representative was that at some point we're going to have to face the reality of the depletion of crude oil in that region. What then happens to your developmental efforts?
No, yeah, and I think that is the reason why over the years we have been saying, look, this crude oil resources is not like renewable, that will stay forever.
Pardon us, we'll let you give that thought and conclude it when we return in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. You were talking about the depletion of the resources. Is the region concerned about this?
We are very concerned, and that's part of the reason why we are agitating that substantial chunk of the resources that is produced in the Niger Delta should be channeled towards the development of the Niger Delta. It's from the basis for our agitation. Oil and gas resources is not like renewables that will live forever. From the estimate, in the next 30 years or thereabout, there will be no oil and gas anymore in the Niger Delta. So what happens if there is no oil anymore? If the federal government of Nigeria is not attending to our developmental needs, even when we are the main stay of the Nigerian economy, what happens when the oil resources are depleted? So it justifies the call for total resource control so that our big governments will pay tax to the federal government so that we have enough resources to develop with a very difficult Niger Delta terrain. The Niger Delta terrain is not like other parts of the country where you construct a road with 1 billion naira. In the Niger Delta, you spend up to 10 billion naira. So that simply shows that the resources that are produced in the Niger Delta must be channeled back towards the development of the Niger Delta.
You know, in conclusion, speaking about peace and all of these agitations and declarations, can the representative of the Ijos and the Shekiri sit on the one roof or on a program and talk about this so that people can see that yes, both really should be working towards peace without the studio busting off the explosion?
No. We have always been having such discussions.
We can sit on that one roof and talk about peace.
We have been. The young man that came here, we are friends. We see regularly. I was even surprised when he came here to make those comments. We do not expect such comments at this level of development. For us as a people, we are taking the decision that our problem is not our neighbors. Our problem is the federal government of Nigeria that has forcefully taken away our resources. So that's our focus. But where an ethnic group, our neighboring ethnic group, such as the Shekiri people, decides to make a declaration and make a threat to attack us, we will call on government to intervene, to take proactive steps to nip it in the bud. But where they decide to implement their resolution or declaration, as the case may be, the result will be there for everybody to see. But we're for peace.
We like, yes, for there to be peace ultimately, not any contrary result, as it were. But we thank you for coming on this morning. But maybe we'll look forward to maybe arranging one more so that both parties can sit down and talk about this. Well, Eric Omare, thank you for coming on. He insists he's the president of the Ijoye Council. We appreciate you talking to us today.
Thank you.
We're back in a moment, everybody.
We're not back.
We're not back. We're back tomorrow, actually. Yesterday I said next week. Can you believe that? We'll see you tomorrow. Right. I'm Chamberlain Usal.
Thanks for watching. I'm Gimba Omare.